In this video, I will show you the 3 most common mistakes people make in breaststroke kick, and we're going to put together breaststroke, upper body and the lower body. I'm Mike Oliver, owner of Nitro Swimming in the Central Texas area. I've taught thousands how to swim. We've won a ton of championships. We've coached a ton of kids, sent them off in a college program. Now, I will teach you better breaststroke and some easy steps. First of all, let's work on the kick first. How do you practice the kick by yourself? Well, a great way to do it is put one hand on top of a gutter, put the other hand underneath it with your fingers pointing down. Why am I doing that? Watch my legs. Now they're up on top of the water. 3 parts to this kick. Step number 1, bring the heels up to the hiney. Step number 2, bring the feet out. Step number 3, we push. The first most common mistake people make, they can do this okay. They don't do step number 2. They don't flex the feet. They don't dorsiflex the feet. Look right, dorsiflexing. That's a plantar flex. That's a dorsiflex. You've got to learn to dorsiflex your feet in breaststroke kick. A lot of people, especially kids learning, they'll go step 1, step 3, step 1, step 3, step 1, step 3. They forget step number 2. So critical. How do you get a good step number 2? Here's one way. Up against the wall that side. That's a great way to do it. You can work your way all the way down the pool. Watch what I do. Watch what I do right here. I'll push off the wall with this foot only. I'm going to push and glide. I'm going to do it again. I'll do the same thing, come back the other way. Work your way all the way down the pool. It doesn't matter, folks, if your pool is a rectangle or a kidney shape or curves. You can jump on a wall and move yourself around your entire pool to train your foot to get in that position. Then when you're ready, next foot, right foot, same thing back the other way. And push. You can get a close-up of my foot right now. Get a close-up of my foot. Which position is my foot in right now? That's a dorsiflex position. So, that's the first most common mistake. People don't flex. Now remember, like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. We got more tips coming up next. The second most common mistake people make just in the breaststroke kick, they bring their knees way out too wide. They're gonna bring their legs up to kick, right? But their legs are going out. Look at all that resistance that I create against the water. If I wanna move towards you in this picture, in the water, and I bring my feet out like that, my legs come up, where's that really pushing me? It's actually kind of, it pulls me backwards. So what do you do to get around that? That's why we snake those heels up to the rear end. Watch again, watch my feet. Sneak them up. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I want to do that. Sneak them. Once I'm up, now throw the bat wings out. Sneak them up, bam. Now I want to throw them up because I want to grab as much water as I can. That's the second most common mistake people make. They think it's like almost like an old-fashioned, water pump, going back and forth. There's no real net gain. If I'm going out here and going back, and I'm coming up and out and I'm going back, there's not much net gain helping me move forward in the world. If that makes sense. Don't forget, folks, like and subscribe. And the third most common mistake that people make in breaststroke kick. You ever seen a hockey goalie? Any kind of a hockey goalie, guys, girls, doesn't matter. Hockey goalies are so flexible in the knees. I'm not that flexible in the knees, folks. I'm not. However, in breaststroke kick, you want your heels wider than your knees. Again, you want your heels wider than your knees. So think about this. My breaststroke kick, I'm not just going straight up and straight back. Straight up and straight back. Watch. Up, heels are out. I'm gonna squeeze the water, squeeze it back as my feet come together. Heels wider than your knees, like 2 propeller blades grabbing that water and really using not just my feet, the lower legs, You're squeezing that water back on breaststroke. Folks, you get those 3 things, flex, number 1, heels up, flex out, and then squeeze that water back. So going back to hockey goalie reference, hockey goalies they can take their knees down to the ice. I can't do it. It's called the butterfly position in hockey. They go down to the ice, they pop back up. Down to the ice, their knees can literally go straight to the floor level and then stand back up. Do you think a hockey goalie would make a great breaststroke kicker? Absolutely. I wouldn't imagine how good of a breaststroke kicker a hockey with that kind of flexibility. Today's breaststrokers are flexible. If you're not that flexible, don't worry, I'm not that flexible, but here's what it looks like when you're all done with the breaststroke kick only. Up, out, squeeze. Up, out, squeeze. So it's a push and a squeeze to move yourself forward in the water. We're gonna move it now into the actual breaststroke to incorporate the upper body. What do the hands do? When do I breathe? That's coming up next, but don't forget, like and subscribe. So there's 4 parts to the actual breaststroke. There's the scoop or the pull. There's the breath. Scoop, breath. There's a kick. That's got 3 parts to it. Then there's the glide. There's a scoop. There's a breath. There's the kick. There's the glide. I'm going to take those 4 parts, make them into 2 parts. Scoop, breath, kick, glide. Scoop, breath, kick, glide. Scoop, breath, kick, glide. Upper body, lower body. Top half of my body, lower half of my body. Once you figure out that timing, it's going to help you out a whole bunch. So let's put it together right now. Let's assume that you've already learned the kick. And by the way, you saw the kick earlier. Let's practice the kick first. Watch what I do here on my kick only. Thumb against thumb. You want to use the kickboard, you can use the kickboard. I'm not going to. Thumb against thumb. My eyes are down. I'll breathe when I need to, but take it a little small baby scoop. Watch, I'll go for quite a ways. I'm gonna go back the other way, same thing. When I need a breath, you'll see a little tiny scoop. Make sure you get that scoop with the breath. Watch. So if you notice, I wasn't in a hurry. I was taking my time. Scoop, breath, kick, glide. Now, once you get good at that, now we're gonna add truly the upper body. The breaststroke arms. You saw earlier, it's a little tiny scoop, right? Well, we're gonna make it a little bit bigger now. We're gonna go out a little bit, and we're gonna bring it, as you reach out there, almost like pretend you're grabbing onto, 2 pieces of rope, 2 loops that are grounded. You're grabbing onto something. So instead of pulling backwards, what do I want to imagine? That I'm able to actually grab onto something and pull my body forward. Pull my body forward. Watch what happens now. In breaststroke, the breaststroke arms begin in the front. The breaststroke arms end, guess where? In the front. I'm going to get back to the front. I'm going to get back to the front. I don't need to have my hands and arms coming out over the water back in the front on the recovery phase of the stroke. However, I like to teach, have your thumbs breathe. Have your thumbs get the air, pretend that they're breathing. My eyeballs are gonna follow my thumbs. In fact, I'm gonna pretend I've got a rubber band, a big rubber band, in front of my fingers, around the back of my head. As I shoot my hands forward and my shoulders go forward, where's the back of my neck gonna have to go? Also forward. It all follows the hands. Make sense? Watch what it looks like when it's together. I'm gonna go slow, but watch. If you notice, 4 kind of separate movements. Scoop, breath is kind of together, and then there's the kick, then there's the glide. I'm not kicking my hands forward. We learned a long time ago, coaching, and when I learned it, it was kick your hands forward. Not like that anymore, folks. The arms are already on their way and they're already extended. My feet then are gonna pull the trigger. My feet won't actually kick until my arms are in front of me. You know why? Because resistance. Resistance. Breaststroke is the stroke that the water shoves you back the most. The water gets so excited. Oh, they're doing breaststroke. We can slow them down. It's natural. It's inherent resistance built into the stroke. You've got to do what you can do to slide through that water, make it more difficult for the water to slow you down. I want to get in that position. Now this is normal streamline, right? That's normal streamline. This is breaststroke streamline. On a breaststroke stroke, we don't go into complete streamline after every stroke. We go thumb against thumb. You try to lock it out as tight as you can. Watch what I mean. The water's trying to slow me down. I will be in this position just before my feet engage in the kick. Watch. Folks, that's pretty effective breaststroke. Now, we're gonna kick it up a notch in the next segment, but don't forget, like and subscribe. Now, I said I'm gonna kick it up a notch in the next segment, right? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make your breaststroke great breaststroke right now. Let's do an old Charlie Brown reference. You remember the cartoon Charlie Brown? He had a buddy named Lucy. Well, Lucy would always hold a football for Charlie Brown. And she said, come on, Charlie Brown, come kick the football. And Charlie Brown said, Lucy, you're gonna pull the football away from me. No way, I'm not gonna do it. No, Charlie Brown, I promise you, I'll hold the football this time. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. He believes her. He gets a running start. What does she do with the football? She pulls it away. He misses the football, spins around, lands on his back. Now, what does this have to do with breaststroke? Actually, everything to do with great breaststroke. Breaststroke races. You're a competitor in breaststroke. The best breaststroke stroke of every length. It's not the first stroke they take. It's not the middle strokes they take. It's the last stroke they take. That last stroke, going into a wall, they are as stretched out as they can, those swimmers. They are kicking as hard as they can. They're elongating their body as long as they can to do what? To touch a little touchpad that registers their time. They're getting time. They want to get to that wall as quickly as they can with these fingertips ahead of the competition, right? So everybody's last stroke in breaststroke is the best stroke of the whole race. Everyone's last stroke. So how can we make every stroke like that last stroke? Here comes Lucy and Charlie Brown again. Instead of a football, we'll pretend that there's a wall in front of you. Every stroke you take, that's the wall. You touch the touchpad at full extension as you dive for the wall. As you dive for the wall. As I dive, watch this. As I dive for it, what's happening? I've got to use my imagination that somebody is pulling that wall away from me. Now, what would that look like? An actual breaststroke? Watch this. I'm going to use my imagination, pretend I'm diving for a moving wall every single stroke. And you see if the breaststroke looks like it's been amped up a little bit. Watch. Folks, you got to use your imagination. If I'm diving for that moving wall on every stroke of breaststroke, every part of me, I'm trying to reach and touch and kill that time clock, right? Every time. If I can swim like that every single stroke, what just speed it up? My hand speed. I've got the rubber band behind me, right? That's pulling me forward. I'm trying to get minimal resistance to stretch out towards that wall. My heels also speed up. Hands and heels, they're connected. Hands and heels are related. My head drives forward and my face looks down. Where my hips go? My hips go up. So it's 4 H's. Hands, heels, head, and hips. That's breaststroke. Again, hands, heels, head, and hips. That's breaststroke. Every stroke, dive for the moving wall. Watch one more time. Every stroke, diving for the moving wall. Folks, that is excellent breaststroke. You do those tips, you will be a better breaststroker. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I'll keep sending you more content. I love what I'm doing. I appreciate you all watching. Have yourselves a great day. Others do lessons. I teach swimming. We'll see you soon.